Before we begin, let me just say briefly, I learned while we were here that there was a state trooper that was shot on the Dan Ryan on the south side. The details are limited at this point, but the investigation obviously is well underway. I will just say let's pray for the trooper who's been taken to a local hospital in grave condition. Let me also just say this, that we are still in the throes of the fallout of the pandemic. And many of the institutions that we rely upon to make sure that our communities and individuals are stable and that they're able to thrive are still coming back from pre-COVID levels. And I think that's a result of one of the underlying issues with the uptick in violence that we've seen in 2020 and 2021. But let me also say this, nonetheless. I believe in accountability. There are people in our community who truly believe that they are accountable to no one. They are brazen. They are reckless. They clearly have no regard for the sanctity of life. And we cannot stand by and have them continue to wreak havoc. We had 2 grave shootings this week, and today is the 3rd, where what we see is individuals acting in a way that has no regard for any of the rest of us. We must do everything possible to bring these people to justice. This can't just be on the police department, although they are working hard and they've got good leads in both instances that happened earlier this week, and I hope that we will be announcing charges shortly in one. But it's got to be on all of us. The brazenness that we're seeing, the lack of accountability, means that we have not done enough to hold these individuals accountable. We're going to do our part as a city. We're continuing to do our part. Our police officers are working their tails off. They're clearing more crimes this year than they have in over 10 years, and particularly when it comes to homicides, they're solved more already than in the last 10 years. But it also takes community, and it also takes our county partners. We're going to find the individuals who are responsible for these crimes. We're going to build the cases to make sure that they're prosecuted. But we need to have the county step up and do its part to make sure that they're held accountable. And that starts with dangerous people who are recklessly endangering the lives and taking the lives of our residents have to be held in jail. They must be. What we saw this week is, if that's not a danger to the community, if that is not a wanton disregard for the safety of others, I don't know what is. So we've got to roll up our sleeves, all of us, working together in concert. The city, the courts, the prosecutors, the jails. But we've got to hold people accountable. And what began as, I think, the right instinct back in COVID, which is deep in compressing our jails because we did not want to accelerate the spread of COVID. Now we have people who are charged with serious crimes, who have long criminal histories, that are out on our street and wreaking havoc, unfortunately, every single day. They must be locked up. They must be locked up, because without that, there is no accountability. If there is not fear of accountability, there is chaos. And we're seeing that manifest itself every single day. So I'm going to keep working with our county partners. I'm going to keep working with other stakeholders on the ground. But there must be accountability in this city, or we are going to all be the worse off for it. So please, everyone, pray for the victims. Pray for the trooper today. But also give no shelter to the people who are causing harm. And when we find them, we must lock them up, and they must pay for their crimes. Happy to take your questions now.
Thank you very much.